Hey guys, what is up? It's TotalXclipse here, and this is quite a long-awaited video. So, back about 4 months ago, me and my flatmate at the time, unfortunately I've just moved out, Hans, also known as, well, his real name's Dan, he's known as Hans Molman on any games that you see us playing, so if you ever see me put playing Call of Duty with Hans Molman, you know who it is. But anyway, he decided to transfer his current PC build into a new case, and I said I'd help him transfer it all. So that's what this video is going to be about. I'll talk you through what I'm doing. It's going to be a time lapse, so very quickly going through the whole process. And as you can probably see, he goes for I think the Aerocool 800 Aero case, and it looks fantastic. White, blue, very similar to mine, but a mid case, and it's just perfect for his build, and it looked amazing in his room. Anyway, let's get into the video and I'll talk you through what we're doing. Now, basically the first thing that we needed to do once we got the tower into the room was just to get the parts out. Now this was a bit of a struggle because the cable management had been rather good. He got it bought online. He bought it online by overclockers or some website like that, and they'd literally cable tied every single wire around the back of it, and it made it very difficult for me to actually take all the components out. So once I'd clipped out all the cable ties, I then started working on the actual taking out the hardware. And so I do believe I started off with the PSU. I wanted to get the wires out the way, so I took out all the PSU wires, removed the PSU, and then started to look at the motherboard. Removing the motherboard parts, we worked with the biggest parts really first. You don't need to remove everything when you're just transferring from one PC to another case, so you can leave the RAM, you can leave the CPU cooler if it's the stock cooler, or just a standalone. If it's attached to the case, it can be a bit infuriating, but we didn't need to do that in this case. So once I'd removed the PSU, we then removed the graphics card and the wireless networking card, and then we removed the motherboard. All the time while I was removing these items, because it was a bit dusty, cases do get dusty from all the intake of air, I got Dan to actually clean it with a little air pump. I don't have any compressed air, so we had a little pump that we were getting all the dust off with, just so that it looked clean when we moved it to the next case. So as you can see, the new case is the Aerocool Aero 800 gaming case. Now it's a white case, it's really fantastically made actually. It's got brilliant airflow for a mid case, and it also has dust filters that are magnetically clipped. It's got plenty of room for bigger graphics cards, and it has a really nice lighting effect with the blue fans, although for Dan's case, we do actually remove them and put in white Corsair fans. Now this case, really easy to use. There was just one problem, and that was the front panel was rather difficult to remove. There were no instructions for actually removing the front panel. I noticed that there were little slots where you could put a screwdriver, Phillips straight head screwdriver through, and then knock it up, but it was really difficult. I had quite a lot of trouble with that, and it did take us a good 20 minutes trying to remove it, but that's life, that happens. There was one other problem which we had, which was the stock fans that came with it. One of the screws had been too tightly placed in, and it made it very difficult to remove. We had a lot of trouble just because the treads had actually worn down, but we managed to remove it eventually with a pair of pliers. But apart from that, the case is fantastic. You've got hard drive cages that are toolless, which work really beautifully, and you've got plenty of space for cable management. Now the case also comes in a variety of colours. I think there's a blue one, a black one, a grey one, and then we have Dan's one, which is white, which I think is the better option. Obviously I'm going to say that because I have a white case myself, but I think the white with blue works very well. You can probably pick this case up for around £45–50. In fact, I think I've got it on Amazon. Yeah, Amazon currently it's between £38 new to £45, so you can pick it up at a pretty good price. So the first things we did were to place in the motherboard, and once that was screwed in, we then placed it in the PSU and the hard drive, followed by the wireless card and the graphics card, which is the 960 GTX 960, which does serve very well still to this point. Now, after we'd placed all the components inside the case, it was our chance to get some cable management going. Unfortunately, we were restricted by only 3 cable ties, so we tried to do our best job. It actually worked pretty well. Struggled to get the fan headers around without the wires showing, but we managed to do pretty well in the end with a bit of tweaking. And the same with the graphics card. I was struggling to get the wires across because the PSU that he uses was not modular, which made it a bit difficult, but we still had plenty of room. We were just trying to keep it neat, and that was more the problem. Now, once everything had been placed back in and I made sure all the motherboard wires were put together and fan wires, everything went to plan up until the point where we switched it on. Now, when we switched it on, it went straight to boot. That was all fine, everything looked good, and then we ran it in setup, and for some reason it just went black. I still don't know why, and then it switched off. However, once we restarted it again, it worked fine, so you know, lucky that. But everything seemed to work really well. It was a bit slow to start off with, but then everything worked fine after. So he's really chuffed with it, I'm really chuffed with it. Nice quick look at transferring the towers over. So there you are, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. Sorry it was all old footage, so it wasn't the best quality camera that I tend to use, or the good microphone. But anyway, that's all we have time for in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please drop a thumbs up. If you found it useful, a thumbs up is always appreciated. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. We've got loads going on over the next couple of weeks. Anyway, guys, I'll see you in the next video.